the whistleblower, so-called whistleblower who came forward, presented no evidence and no first-hand knowledge. This is a person who had heard about a conversation that President Trump had with Zelensky, then went straight to Adam Schiff on the House Intelligence Committee.
America, imagine this. Your coworker goes to your boss and said that you did something wrong. But here's the thing. Your coworker wasn't there when it actually happened. They heard it from somebody else. And before they even made it official, they stopped by the boss's office first to give him a heads up. That's not a complaint, you guys. That is a setup. But here's the part that's really gonna get you. The guy who was supposed to check if the complaint was even real, he never read the paperwork from the actual event he was investigating. He admitted it out loud in front of Congress. They ran it anyway, impeached a president, and then locked up the proof what really happened inside a safe for 6 years. On April 13th, 2026, Tulsi Gabbard opened up that safe. 2 days later, she sent receipts straight to the Department of Justice, and this is what we're breaking down.
What Tulsi Gabbard, the director of National Intelligence, is alleging here is that bureaucratic operatives pushed forward information from biased sources and led to the underpinnings of the 2019 impeachment effort.
What is up, guys? Tyson de la Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Quick background so everybody understands and knows who Michael Atkins is. His title was Inspector General of the Intelligence Committee. Think of him like a referee, if you would. His whole job was to look at complaints, say if they were real or not, and stay out of politics. He did the absolute opposite of all of that. Here's what Tulsi Gabbard's laying out.
He didn't conduct a full investigation. He didn't even ask to see the transcript of the phone call between President Trump and Zelensky. And he admitted to Congress that he did not have any evidence that he was relying on. He had made a criminal referral to the Department of Justice based on this so-called whistleblower's complaint. Department of Justice came back and said there's nothing here. This inspector general then went to Congress anyway.
Let me slow that down really quick because it actually matters. The Department of Justice is the top law enforcement agency in the country. They looked at Michael Atkins' complaint. They looked at his findings. And on September 3rd, 2019, they told him that there was no crime there. No laws broken. Done. Finito burrito. 6 days later, on September 9th, Atkins did it anyways. He went around his boss. He wrote a letter straight to Adam Schiff's committee. He handed them the complaint the DOJ already threw in the garbage. And here's the part that makes it absolutely worse. The complaint originally required the person making it to have seen the problem directly with their own eyes in the room. Atkins' office quietly changed that rule right before the complaint came in. He made it so somebody could file a complaint based on something that they heard from somebody else. He changed the rules. Then a complaint that just needed those new rules to qualify, you guys, just happened to show up. And he called it credible. That is not a referee making a bad call. That is a referee who changed the rule book, then made the call. And speaking of things that don't change the rules on you, real quick, today's video sponsor, Pure Bulk. Their tasty, clear electrolytes are exactly what they say they are. We're talking about no sugars, no fillers, no artificial dyes, nothing hiding behind or in between the label, you guys. It dissolves completely clear in water, and that clarity is the darn proof. After doing these videos and doing these deep dives, I need to keep my body right. I need to keep it running tight. Every single morning, I start off with Tasty Clear. 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 1,000 milligrams of potassium, magnesium, calcium, high potency, third-party lab tested, and they'll show you the results. Head over to purebulk.com, use code Tyson at checkout. Now, back to the story. To call a complaint credible, Atkins was supposed to talk to people who actually knew what happened. That is the main situation there. Actually knew what happened. He talked to 4 people in total. The person making the complaint, the person's friend who was supposed to confirm the entire story, and 2 other people who just said the first person was a good guy. Not a single one of them was on the July 2019 phone call between Trump and the Ukraine's president. Not one of them heard it directly.
They knew that the allegations in the supposed whistleblower complaint, that there was some inappropriate dialogue between President Trump and President Zelensky regarding a quid pro quo, like pressure by President Trump. They knew that that was false. They knew the whistleblower complaint was bogus because they knew it was based on secondhand information and based off of summarized transcripts. And so they knew that it was false, but what they needed to do was they needed to get it over to Congress so that Congress could then leak it essentially to the media.
Now, here's what the backup witness, the person supposed to confirm the story, actually told investigators. When the documents were released, they said after reading the transcript of the actual phone call, they would not have been able to get from point A to point Z the way that the whistleblower ever did. They said that they had to read between the lines. And the main accusation here is that Trump was pressuring Ukraine to help him win the election. Only became clear to this witness, and this witness only, in their own words, in hindsight. The person who brought this in to say, yes, this complaint is real, that person couldn't even show the problem on their own. The whistleblower had to walk them through it. That's the backup witness, you guys. Backing up absolutely nothing. Now, here's where it gets really important. The backup witness, the person Atkins used to say the complaint was actually real, turns out they helped write the big government report back in January 2017. That report said Russia helped Trump win the 2016 election. It launched years of investigations, hearings, and nonstop news coverage. Gabbard, Tulsi Gabbard, later showed that report was manufactured on Barack Hussein Obama's orders, Barry Soetoro's orders. And the whole thing was built on shaky ground from the beginning. The same person who helped build that story in 2017 was now Atkins' key backup witness in 2019. Isn't that suspicious, you guys? 2 different attacks on Trump, same person in the middle of both of them.
In the last month or so, that revealed some new text messages between Strzok and Page. And after that, the FBI director, Christopher Wray, said that the FBI would undertake a change in the FBI's culture to make sure this sort of thing didn't happen again, and that appropriate disciplinary steps would be taken. Now, his legal counsel has told the Washington Post that first reported this firing, which I've since confirmed with some law enforcement officials. His lawyer is saying that this is not the normal way this should have happened.
And the backup witness worked directly for Peter. The FBI agent MSNBC just described in that previous video was texting. Mr. Peter was texting his girlfriend on a government phone saying that they were going to try to, quote unquote, stop Trump from becoming president. The FBI investigated him and they fired him. Not Republicans. The FBI, their own inspector general, forced it here.
I don't give a damn what you appreciate, Agent Strzok. I don't appreciate having an FBI agent with an unprecedented level of animus working on 2 major investigations during 2016.
Okay, that went well.
So, guys, let's put this together simply. The backup witness who helped make the 2019 complaint look real, that same person helped write the Russia report in 2017. And worked side by side with an FBI agent who had to be fired for being openly against Trump. 3 connections, 1 network, 2 operations here. And here's the part that they don't really want you to know. The newly released documents confirmed the whistleblower called Adam Schiff's office before filing the official complaint. So they called up Adam Schiff. They said, yo, we're going to file the complaint. Not after, before. They tipped off the committee chairman, the Democrat leading the charge against Trump before the complaint was even through the official channels. And then, you guys, Atkins' team asked the whistleblower who else knew about this. The whistleblower left out the Schiff call. Didn't even mention it. During that window of time, Atkins was supposed to be checking for biases. He didn't do that.
We were informed about an hour and a half ago that by the attorney for Ambassador Sondland that the State Department would refuse to allow him to testify today. This was after conversations well into yesterday afternoon and evening with the State Department legal advisor, in which there was no indication that the ambassador would be a no-show. Not only is the Congress being deprived of his testimony, the American people being deprived of his testimony today, but we are also aware that the ambassador has text messages or emails on a personal device which have been provided to the State Department, although we have requested those from the ambassador, and the State Department is withholding those messages as well.
He's acting like he stumbled upon a scandal. Documents now show his office was part of the setup before any of this went even public. Watch that clip, knowing what you know now. October 8th, 2019, Adam Schiff is performing outrage. He's the quote-unquote good guy trying to protect democracy, except his office was already in contact with the person who filed the complaint before it became official. He wasn't discovering a scandal here. He was helping run it. And Atkins and the referee knew about the Schiff contact and did not investigate whether it made the whole thing politically tainted. The ref knew the play was dirty and didn't throw the damn flag.
Well, MS Now has just confirmed Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard referred the whistleblower whose complaint led to the first impeachment of President Trump and the Inspector General, who deemed their complaint credible, for possible criminal prosecution by the Trump Justice Department. The move comes days after Gabbard released documents alleging a conspiracy behind Trump's first impeachment. Except, folks, the documents prove no such thing, okay?
They confirmed that the referrals are real, then in the same breath said the documents behind them prove nothing. Well, those same documents are sitting on the government's own website. Criminal referral means Tulsi Gabbard officially walked into the Department of Justice, the DOJ, and said, here is the evidence. Here are the people that are involved. Here are the laws we think that were broken. Now you investigate. That's what happened on April 15, 2026, 2 days after the documents dropped. Of course, you guys, the lamestream media, MSNBC, MS Lamestream BC, called the documents a myth. The documents are in the DNI.gov website right now, the government's own official website. The Atkinson transcripts, his actual testimony, are posted on the House Intelligence Committee's website. They were locked in a safe and kept away from the committee that ran the impeachment trial until March 24, 2026, when the House Intelligence Chairman Rick Crawford forced a vote to have them be released. Nobody is saying the documents don't exist. They're calling the pattern, the documents reveal a myth. That's a very different argument here and a much harder one to make.
Senator Mark Warner calling Director Gabbard's criminal referral a retaliatory act for whistleblowing itself, the very kind of politically motivated reprisal our laws are written to prevent.
That word right there, retaliation, only works if you believe the complaint was real and legitimate. The documents just broke that argument apart. Senator Warren says this is retaliation against a whistleblower. A whistleblower is somebody who sees something wrong, reports it honestly, and gets punished for telling the truth. That's who the law protects. But the documents show the whistleblower in this case was a registered Democrat. They worked with Joe Biden in Ukraine. They called Adam Schiff's office before filing. Their backup witness couldn't confirm the story without being walked through it from A to Z. And they lied to investigators about the Schiff contact. That's not a whistleblower being retaliated against. That's somebody being investigated for what they actually did.
Reuters citing two people familiar with the investigation in reporting this. The FBI is right now ramping up that criminal inquiry into John Brennan, preparing to question roughly half a dozen witnesses over the U.S. intelligence assessment that found Russia interfered in the 2016 election.
John Brennan was a CIA director. He oversaw the creation of that 2017 Russian report, the one that launched the whole collusion story. Obama directed it. According to documents that Gabbard already released, the backup witness in the 2019 Ukraine complaint co-wrote that same report. Now the FBI is getting ready to question roughly 6 people about how that 2017 report was put together. Brennan was referred to the DOJ back in October. He's not a small piece of this. He's the person who was running things when both operations got built. America, here's the simplest way to say what these documents actually show. The backup witness, the person brought in to confirm the complaint was real, told investigators they couldn't even see the problem on their own. They needed the whistleblower to explain it to them and walk them through it. Atkins knew that, then told Congress the complaint was confirmed. Think about what this actually means here. The entire presidential impeachment, 2 years of wall-to-wall news coverage, the country ripped in half, all of it built on a complaint from somebody who wasn't even in the room, backed up by somebody who couldn't even see the problem without help, pushed forward by a referee who changed the rules, ignored the DOJ when they said stop, and hid this testimony in a safe for 6 years. The referrals are filed, a grand jury is already running, Brennan is a target, and the first time since 2019, every person who touched this process is going to have to explain themselves in front of a federal prosecutor with those documents already on the table. The safe is empty. The story doesn't hold anymore. Let me know what you think about this. Drop it down in the comments section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.